So let's talk about loneliness. And no, not the kind that comes after a spiritual awakening. I'm talking about that loneliness, the one that makes you feel empty inside, the one that creeps in when there's no distraction, the one you keep trying to fix with another person and another thing. But here's what I need you to hear: chasing loneliness will get you nowhere. Because if you slow down and observe it, I mean, really sit with it without reacting, without identifying with it, without associating with it, you'll notice something. Loneliness wants something from you. It wants you to reach. It wants you to grab on to something that promises to fill that space. Sometimes it's someone, sometimes it's just distraction, noise, but the pattern is the same. Loneliness is asking you to attach. And the moment you do, the feeling goes away for a little while until it comes back. That emptiness comes back even louder, needing more, pulling you into another cycle of chasing, needing, wanting. And that's where it keeps you unfinished, ungrounded, and unsure of who you are without the noise. I've observed this in myself. There's a thought that comes up: I need something or someone to make this feeling go away. But that thought, that's not true. It's not truth. Maybe that's a wound that believes you're incomplete, a wound that thinks your wholeness is outside of you. Loneliness, real loneliness, is often a response to an old unmet need. Maybe it's the absence of love, not being nurtured as a child. Maybe it's heartbreak that you never truly got over. Maybe it's years of being surrounded by people who never really saw you. Whatever it is, when you chase the feeling without questioning it, you attach to anything that resembles comfort, even if it isn't good for you, even if it's not aligned, even if it's not love. And to just go a little deeper, even after spiritual awakening, the loneliness can come back. You'd think you'd be past it, but I don't think that's how it works. We're still having this human experience. You feel the emotional void after awakening because you're no longer willing to fill that space with illusion. You want what aligns, you want what's real. Now you're being asked to sit with the truth, to feel what you once ran away from, what you once avoided. So what do? You observe it. You stop chasing. Ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to make me do? What need is it asking me to fill? And at what cost? Because loneliness can create a need so strong that it brings desperation. So pause instead of reacting. You don't become the loneliness, you observe it. That's when emotional awareness becomes spiritual growth. Most people don't realize that loneliness is rarely satisfied. It always needs more. And the more you give it from the outside, the further you drift from yourself on the inside. It becomes a habit, a survival pattern, a craving for connection that was born out of disconnection from your true self. What I've come to know is that spiritual well being is mental clarity, or a practical way of saying it, mental health. And clarity comes when you learn to be with yourself, excuse me, without needing to escape. Healing means sitting with the feelings, confronting them, because they will show up eventually. We need to remember who we were before the wound, before the experience that taught us that we have to give love. And although it's not returned, it beats being lonely. Because if you don't know your own company, you won't know the kind of company your soul truly craves. And that's how sometimes we end up settling, chasing, and staying in places that don't feel familiar. They're not fulfilling. So if you're in a moment of feeling lonely, where it feels louder than your peace, before you reach to try to fill that emptiness, before you text them, I know it, I've been there. Ask yourself, what is the loneliness really saying? What is this feeling? Is it asking me to be what I never had? Loneliness isn't something to fight. It's definitely not something to chase, just observe, because chasing it will only take you further from yourself. And if you chase long enough, you'll start to believe you're not enough. And maybe I need to remind you right here, you are a child of divine love. You're just being asked to heal the original wound, not distract from it. Maybe that's what loneliness is asking us to do. Because like I said, if you don't know your own company, how will you know the kind of company you truly want for yourself? How will you know if someone adds to you or just temporarily fills a need? There's nothing wrong with companionship. There's nothing wrong with longing for connection. That's human. That's the human experience. But when connection becomes a way to escape yourself, that's where suffering begins. And maybe you felt that lately. Maybe you've been reaching and nothing is working. Here's what I want to leave with you. You're not empty. You're just coming back to parts of you that were never seen on your healing journey. You're meeting yourself maybe for the first time. And there's power in that. Once you allow yourself to sit with yourself. The soul doesn't want more noise. It wants your attention, your presence. So when loneliness shows up, don't chase it. Don't run from it. Observe it. And watch it lose its grip. Because the moment you stop trying to fill this need, You stop abandoning yourself to fix it. You start being present for real, being really present for the first time, maybe, as the love you once waited for. Because sometimes it's not even about now, it's about the past, the unmet need, the unhealed parts. And that's what changes your life, our lives. Not another person, not another distraction, not even the absence of loneliness itself, but you choosing to stay with yourself, choosing to see that your own presence is enough. That doesn't mean that you won't have companionship, but it means that you won't go looking for someone else to fill something within yourself. Because if that's the case, we'll always be searching, searching to be complete. But you're a child of divine love. You are already complete. Thank you for sitting with me, and I hope in some way these words remind you that you're not empty. You were never empty. You were never incomplete. Because the loneliness you're trying to fix is rarely fixed by anything outside of you.